She said it like she owned the place. "These are my guests, and you have no right to be here. Right there, on my own damn land." Yeah, that happened. I hadn't even put the car in park when I saw it. Tents everywhere, folding chairs, beer cans, half-burned logs smoldering in fire pits they'd carved straight into my mother's garden beds. I stood there like some confused trespasser, while a woman in a white polo, with Lakeshore HOA president embroidered on her chest, barked orders like she was running a resort. Let me back up a second. My name's Eli. I'm a software engineer out of Chicago, and for the past few years, I'd been living out of a shoebox apartment, working 60-hour weeks, trying to outrun grief. See, 3 years ago, both my parents passed. Left me a lakefront house in upstate Wisconsin, a place that held every summer memory I ever had. Bonfires, barbecues, Mom's flowers blooming along the shoreline like they knew her by name. I hadn't gone back since the funeral. It hurt too much, but something snapped that week. Maybe burnout, maybe homesickness, maybe just guilt, and I finally took a week off to go home. Fix the porch, replace the roof, sit on the dock and listen to nothing for once. What I found when I got there was a scene straight out of Coachella for entitled adults. 15 tents, 2 RVs, 4 hammocks, kids chasing each other through what used to be Mom's flower path and trash. Piles of it, soggy paper plates, beer bottles, diapers. Her hydrangeas gone, flattened into tire tracks. The bird bath she loved, dented and full of cigarette butts. I hadn't even made it to the porch when Karen with credentials, apparently named Marilyn Kepler, stormed up with a clipboard and a cash box. She was collecting $30 a night from these guests, calling it an HOA-sponsored community retreat. Except here's the kicker. There is no HOA. At least, not on my land. But Marilyn, she'd been telling folks otherwise for months. Flashing some vague-looking paperwork, threatening fines, making herself queen of a campground she had zero legal claim to, and people believed her. I mean, she had the shirt, the confidence, the rule signs printed in plastic. I should have yelled. I wanted to, but my mom didn't raise me like that. So I watched, waited, pulled out my laptop and drone, started documenting. Because when your enemies hang themselves best with their own rope, you just have to hold the other end steady. A local couple, Tomas and Jenna, saw me pacing with my drone remote and offered me lemonade. We always wondered who actually owned this place. Tomas muttered. She said it was community managed but got real aggressive when I asked to see the bylaws. Jenna nodded. She made our teenage daughter cry when she parked 2 inches off a made-up line. Said we'd be fined. Turns out, Marilyn had a history one not even her campers knew. I dug deeper. She used to be a lawyer until she got disbarred for embezzlement and fraud. 5 years back. Lost her license and somehow found her way here, pretending to be a community leader while quietly skimming thousands in camping fees. I posted a bait message in a local forum under a throwaway username. Hi. Does anyone know if the Lakeshore Camping Retreat is officially HOA zoned? I paid $30, but now I'm not sure. Can't find the land on county records. Is this legal boom? Fireworks. Dylan, a college student who had camped the previous weekend, commented. She told me it was official too. I asked for documents, and she got weird about it. So I reached out to Dylan, told him the truth, asked if he'd be willing to help. Nothing illegal. Just ask a question. The next weekend, Dylan set up in the same spot. And Marilyn? Well, she strutted over like she owned the sun. $30, please. She chirped. Dylan smiled. Happy to pay, just need to see some HOA documentation. You know, county approval for this parcel. She froze. Not immediately, but like a system glitch. A buffering error mid-lie. Tony. The guy she'd dragged in as campground support looked confused. Dylan kept his cool. Ma'am, I just want to be sure I'm not violating any laws. If this is legit, then no problem. And that word laws that broke her. She lunged, shoved Dylan so hard he fell backward into a puddle of beer and mud. People screamed. Tony stepped back. Phones came out. And Marilyn. She stood there, arms raised mid-motion completely. Terrifyingly still. Like she knew the last page of her story had just been written. Police were called this time not by her, but on her. Officer Nguyen took statements. Officer Martinez read her rights. Dylan never raised his voice, never threw a punch. All he did was ask a question. And that was enough to unravel everything. Witnesses poured in, residents who had been bullied, scammed, threatened. HOA board members who'd resigned in frustration. One even admitted Marilyn stole $24,000 in community funds to sponsor the illegal campsite. Another said she used to alter meeting minutes. Scheduling votes, nobody attended. It spiraled. She was charged with assault, fraud, impersonation of a public official, and misappropriation of community resources. But what happened next? That's where it got cinematic. As she was being led away in cuffs, the crowd didn't just gawk, they clapped. One guy even shook Dylan's hand. "Son, you did what none of us had the guts to." And that, right there, that moment of truth from a muddy, quiet kid with a calm voice and a backbone, sparked something. The lakefront isn't just clean again, it's alive. We rebuilt Mom's garden, replanted the hydrangeas. Dylan comes by every other weekend with his nephew, teaching him how to camp the right way on property with permission, where the rules are real and no one's profiting off fake authority. The old HOA shed gone. In its place, a shared tool closet and community library. Marilyn. She pled guilty. Got banned from holding any HOA or legal role again. Paid full restitution for the damage. And the cherry on top, her name is now the example every community meeting uses when they say, ask for paperwork. Always. 6 months later, I sit on that same porch my mother once loved, watching golden light hit the lake. Quiet, peaceful, real. And I can't help but wonder, what do we do with people who think power is a shortcut to truth? Do we punish them or just outlast them? Let me know in the comments, was justice served? Should people like Marilyn get second chances? Or do some lies cost too much to forgive? If this story hit home, smash that like button, help me bring more real justice stories to light. And if you've ever had to fight for something that was already yours, drop your story below. You're not alone. Not anymore.